Hello, everyone. It's Mike Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So the Minneapolis shooting narrative is falling apart for the Dems. They wanted another George Floyd, but people are just not going to have it this time, right? We're not falling for it. And there's supposed to be 1,000, uh, you know, demonstrations all across the country. Didn't happen. So this last weekend, was a failure for the Dems, and it's dying out in Minneapolis. Everybody, all of us being exposed, and of course, ICE is showing up, and they're not playing around. They're really hammering down on the Karens and the soy boys. They're really getting hammered hard, and then finally, we have patriots, real Americans that are showing up, and they are hammering some of these people, right? So it is moving in the right direction. I think we're going to see some very positive things moving forward. We're also going to see silver, which is rising very elegantly, and taking down the Fed, right? So the Federal Reserve and their fake toilet paper money is basically collapsing. We'll see maybe tomorrow when we have producer price index come out. Today, the consumer price index. I don't know who's manipulating these numbers, but normally when these things go up, it's because the price of energy is up. And that's what the Biden administration did immediately upon entering office. They started canceling, drilling rights and shutting down pipelines and, taking oil from the strategic oil reserve. And it really, hammered energy prices. And everything moves by energy, right? So that's what really raised the prices. And of course, they started destroying, chickens and cows and all kinds of crazy stuff. And then, food processing plants and railways were like, cars were running off railways and bridges collapsing, all kind of crazy stuff, right? So we know that that manipulation from the dark side, the Democrat Party, and the extreme globalist, the globalistas, as Juan O'Savin calls them, they're collapsing. Everything about their narrative, everything, all of it's collapsing. So we're also seeing potentially Iranian airstrikes are coming soon. I don't think they're going to be a one and done. I think it's going to take some time to take out the last vestiges of the Iranian revolution from 47 years ago. Of course, we have the 47th president. All right. So God works in mysterious ways. All right. So we're seeing a lot of this stuff basically collapse. And that's the globalist system. Now, I said months ago that we would see Pahlavi come back as the Shah of Iran. He is the crown prince, and he will come back. So we'll see what capacity he's going to be in. He says he doesn't want to be the supreme leader, the king. He just wants to come in and help the people, and I completely believe him. So we'll see, what that turns out to be. But in the meantime, it looks like a lot of people are being killed by the old regime. We're just going to call them old regime because their power is collapsing, and desperation can be a very dangerous thing in the last vestiges of power. We've seen that, many times before, where collapsing regimes will strike back very hard. We saw that here in the United States with the Revolutionary War, the collapsing regime and control system of the British Empire on America. Of course, they still control us to a great extent. We thought we got rid of them, but no. All right. So that last vestige of the British Empire is also collapsing here in the United States. So, and there will be extreme things that will happen. All right. And we're seeing those. monetary system collapse, but there was going to be a new one that's already starting to come in. That is silver. That is why silver and gold are going up. Silver and gold, silver and gold. So we'll keep seeing silver and gold, spiking day after day, week after week, month after month. I told you guys that silver was going to act like a cryptocurrency, and sure enough, it is. All right. And meanwhile, the cryptocurrencies were up today very dramatically, while the stock market was down, because there is some confusion about, of course, in some people's minds, about what's going to happen with the crack money, right? So the stock market likes to crack money. It likes for the Fed to lower the rates so they get their crack money and, their toilet paper Fed, money. And they use that to buy stocks, right? I use that crap paper to buy silver, which, silver, everybody's like, we don't want the paper anymore. We don't want the toilet paper, future prices. We want the real thing. So the real thing is what, everybody's striving for around the world. Silver prices are $100 or more. Whereas here in America, they're hovering today. It was at 89. It pulled back a little bit while everybody's going to figure out tomorrow if the stock market is going to crash, or if the stock market is going to go up, or if the stock market is going to play like it's going to crash, but it knows it's going to go up, and they're just fooling everybody because that's the way they do these things. So it's just more manipulation, but that manipulation is falling apart. They're not able to manipulate like they used to. Now, one thing they have been doing as far as manipulation of silver prices is they've jacked up margin rates 4 times in the last 42 days. 4 times. Very unusual to jack them up at all, but 4 times in 42 days, they're desperate. They're desperate to save the banks. The Federal Reserve is sending them a lot of toilet paper money, and they're using that to stay solvent. So these Federal Reserve banks are going to collapse along with the Federal Reserve. Now, President Trump is talking about suing, the Federal Reserve because they're building a $2.5 billion facility. President Trump was in there slapping, the Federal Reserve head on the back. He's like, you're building this, like, I don't know if this thing is worth that much money. And Jerome Powell is like, he doesn't know. He looks like he's a lost kid against Trump. It's not working out so good for him. So we'll see probably this thing collapse on these guys. And when it collapses, that's when America is going to reach a great ascendancy because we're going to go back to silver, just like John F. Kennedy was doing when he was assassinated. Of course, they tried to assassinate Trump because I'm sure they knew that he was going to do the same thing because Kennedy was his friend, John, JFK Jr., still alive, still out there, still alive and well out there, but he's not going to return until it's safe, of course. And when he does, it'll be some celebration time. So we know that the very dark cabal is on its last legs. What is going to bring it down? Let's start to look at some of these things. All right. So I've been saying that there's trillions of dollars of fraud, right? And not the Federal Reserve head, but the Treasury head today was saying that there is a lot of fraud in the system. Upwards of 5 to 10% of all the money, the funding of the American government is riddled with fraud. I say that's very conservative. I say it's more like 25%. Now I know. Because I bid on military contracts when I left the military, and the generals who own a lot of that and who are in control of a lot of those contracts, when they are in control of them when they're in the military, and then when they get out, they get hooked up with multi-million-dollar positions, and they control them on the other side. So it's just a handoff. And I bid on. I had a group that I was with at one time. We bid on some contracts, in Washington State, we were blowing away the competition. You know, I was going to bring in all kind of crazy stuff. It was basically for prisoner of war training. I went through that training. You know, I've talked about how I broke the water board, which is very rare. Only happens like every 10 years or so. And I was like, I could make this better. I could teach these guys tracking, survival skills, much better than what they're getting now. And I had a group of people, former officers in the military there in Washington State, and enlisted guys and all kinds of crazy. We were ready to go. And the guy that was in charge was like, he was very happy with our proposal. Our proposal was going to be under what they were being paid before, what they were paying before, and they're going to get much, much more value, right? And I still was going to, like, you know, hook everybody up that was going to work. Wow, they're going to get hooked up, right? So the people on you know, down in the trenches doing the work, we're going to get a lot of good money. And you know, we were going to make a little bit of money, but it wasn't buffered. We weren't buffering what we were going to make. We're going to make, you know, like good money, but it wasn't like ridiculous like the generals were making. All right. So the guy that was in charge of the contracts for the government he says, you guys are looking, he kind of told us underneath, he's like, you guys are looking good. And so they went in, they did the bidding one night, and he came back to us and he said, I am so sorry. The other group won the contract. And the reason why they won the contract was I was told they were going to win the contract. You guys were hands down my favorite. And oh, by the way, I'm done with this bullshit. And he basically left. He was no longer part of the government contracting, and because it was corrupt. And he was a good guy. He was a genuine guy. And so that's what happens in these systems, guys. You have people that, you know, try and come in like me and all these other guys. We're going to do good things for the military. And it wasn't merit-based. It was based on, you know, the attaboy system and corrupt generals and corrupt military officials and all kind of crazy stuff, guys. So they padded their wallet and their bid with 25 to 50% is what we figured, above what they should have been getting. All right. So that's what a lot of these contracts are like, guys, throughout the military, throughout government. And in Somalia, it's way out of control. Or not Somalia. I say Somalia because that's why I look at, when I look at Minneapolis and Dearborn and some of these other, you know, cities in that area, it's like little Somalia to me. Right. And I've said that we're going to probably see a Mogadishu in some of these cities, and it's very close. It's very close. So it's not a good thing that's going on. All right. So let's look at, you know, some of the things that are going down. So President Trump put this out: welfare use rates in Minnesota by households with children. All right. You see that tan number is any welfare. So 30% of, you know, native households with children are receiving some type of welfare. 6% of them are receiving cash, 10% are receiving food stamps, and 28% Medicaid. Now look at the Somali immigrant households with children and Somali immigrant households with children in over 10 years in the U.S. Look at those numbers. So any welfare, 30% for Americans, and upwards of 89 to 86% of Somali immigrants. Wow. And then they get cash, which is like, gosh, that's like more than almost 4 times what American households are getting. And then you look at the food stamps, and it's like 6 times, 5 or 6 times more. That's insane. And then you look at Medicaid. It's like, you know, 3-4 times more. It is out of control, guys. All right. So this has to be gotten under control. The fraud is obviously beyond belief. It is at a stage where something has to happen. All right. So let's look at, no, what we're seeing is Muslims can have multiple wives, right? So a lot of these Muslims, Somalians, and Muslims, not just Somalians, but Arabs, that are Muslims overall, have multiple wives, and so these multiple wives are claiming to be single mothers with children. All right. And that's where, the fraud is getting out of control. All right. So just like we saw with Ilhan Omar, who married her brother to come to the United States, the fraud is out of control. When you have, a figurehead at the very top of the Somali community committing extreme fraud. And I guess, she went from, less than $100,000 in income to now she's got 30 million. Wow. Or 10 million or 30 million. It's one of those millions. All right. It's multiple millions. All right. A lot more than me and you have. All right. So, and she's a Somalian that came to America and made it big. Wow. She went to the politics and boy, she got hooked up. All right. I don't want that job because I'm not corrupt. I have high morals. I have high integrity, but obviously Somalians don't at all. All right. So let's look at some of the craziness that's going on. So it's been exposed. Even, the good Somalians are exposing it.
Apparent scam that Somalis are running.
Another crazy statistics, just in Minnesota, not anywhere in the world. I can just imagine this. Of Minnesota, there's about 30,000 single Somali mothers, single mothers, which is a ridiculous number.
A lot of you, man, will think this is a true statistic, but it's not a real statistic because the single mothers that's registered in the government, they're not actually single mother. This is spousal support, man. This is a hustle to get benefits. You understand?
This kind of thing is happening all the time. Thousands of Somalis are claiming to be single mothers so that they can fraudulently obtain government benefits. And the Democrats understand that importing all these foreign scam artists is destroying the United States, but they're fine with it because all the foreign nationals living in this country, even the illegal ones, count for redistricting, meaning they give Democrats more seats in Congress. Here's another apparent scam that Somalis are.
All right. So scam after scam after scam is being revealed. It wasn't enough that we, got the, the leering place, Leering, the Leering Center, where children went to learn leering. All right. So they, because, everything is corrupt in the Somali world. And so they teach, bad English, I guess. And that's part of what they do because they don't speak so good. You listen to Ilhan Omar and she is very difficult to listen to. I mean, how long have you been in the United States and how did you become a representative of Congress? Jesus. So I listen to her because I have to report on the bullshit that's out there. I've known this for a decade. I've been reporting on it for a decade now in my social media, but now it's starting to come to light. Sometimes it takes a little while for people to wake up, and everybody's waking up, and they're waking up big, right? Big, right? And so we'll go deeper into that. But first of all, let's look at what's going on with silver. So silver today went all the way to 89.21. I said that it would probably go over once it broke over 83, 85 to 95 is going to be a little place where it's going to play. It's going to play. It's going to go high. It's going to go low. It's going to go high. It's going to go low. And then it's going to bust up to $100, guys. And then it's going to play there from 95 to 100. And then it's going to bust up to 110, 112 this month. All right. So we still have a lot of month left. And we're not even halfway through. So it is probably going to happen this month, if not in the very early stages of February, because there's a lot of short positions that are going to be due. And even though they're trying to hammer this down, it's not working so well. So it's going to collapse these banks, this Federal Reserve System. All right, let's look at what the prices are right now. Silver, in the aftermarket is running higher, right? So anticipation of tomorrow, we're going to see this puppy go. All right, so look at the numbers. Let's see, get my cursor over there. Trying to see what you guys see on the screen. Let me move my screen over a little bit. All right, so if you look at the prices right here, this was today. Now this red and this green and this blue, these are Bollinger Bands. So when you see how it'll hit a Bollinger Band, it'll go over the top of it, and then it'll pull back, and then it'll stay within that Bollinger Band, and then it'll come back down, touch the other side of the Bollinger Band, the lower side, and then work its way back up, and then it'll pop that Bollinger Band again, and then it pulls back like you saw today. Good red pullback, and now it's building back up. Ideally, it stays on this side of the Bollinger Band, but people get excited. They get excited because they know this thing's going to go, and so they go in and they buy heavy, and then it pulls back. And this is the way this works. So you can go back in time and you can see how this works. Let's go back. So Bollinger Band, pop, and then it pulls back, touches the lower Bollinger Band, hits the middle Bollinger Band, gets resistance, pushes all around. So it pushes all around. I don't know why it just popped off my screen. Maybe I accidentally hit it. So the Bollinger Band play is in effect. We're seeing right now, silver price is 87.96, playing above 88. The high today was 89.21. So we're going to see this thing probably tomorrow, depending on what the producer price index does. We're probably going to see this thing pop 90, right? Go over 90 tomorrow. All right, and then it'll probably go even higher. If it does it with aggressive, volume. If you look at the down in here, look at the volume bands. It is very high volume, and it's green. So that means people are buying a lot. And when you see high volume and you see the price go up, that's a very good sign, right? Especially when it stays above 85, which is done. So tomorrow, very possibly, if the producer price index is, amenable, it's in a good position for upward movement in the stock prices, because they're going to get their crack money, all right, crack toilet paper money from the Federal Reserve, and so they'll cheaper, and they'll run the stock market. All right. So when you look at Bitcoin, look down here at the Bitcoin prices. You see Bitcoin is up big today. So Bitcoin, I think it was up 5% today. Bitcoin itself, XRP's up big, XLM, Shiba, Pepe, Ethereum, everything's up. So you're not seeing the percentages of everything increase today because we're in a new day. The crypto never sleeps. It trades 24/7. And, the pretty much the precious metals during the week, during the off hours, it's almost 24/7, but on the weekends, it basically takes a little break. But you see right here, palladium is up. Gold is up. Now we want to see gold stay above 46. If we see gold stay above 46, we're going to see gold quickly go to 5,000. All right. So there's a lot of good things that are going on there. Now, if you look at, I have invested in the miners. SBSW is a South African mining company. That's done really well for me. GDXJ, Junior Gold Miners, has done really well for me. GDX, the senior miners, SILJ, the junior miners, and SIL, the senior miners. All of these have done exceptionally well. Now, sometimes I've heard people make comments, why is it that silver and gold are up high percentages and the miners are not so much? Well, percentage wise, my miners since early January and probably mid-November have done unbelievably well. So maybe not on the day, but overall they're actually outperforming the metals for me. All right. So, and for you if you're invested in them, of course. So that's the way this is rolling. Silver is going to become unobtainable, right? Unobtainable. A lot of people are saying they can't get it. You go into for a long time, I'd say for well over a year, it's been virtually impossible to get 1,000-ounce bars, right? And I know a lot of you are like, what, 1,000 ounce? Yeah, I got a lot of those. So it's hard to get those. So you have to buy the 100 ounces, right? And usually in the past, if you buy in, large bulk like that, you get the best discount, but you just can't find those 1,000-ounce bars anymore. So 100-ounce, monster boxes, which have 500 ounces in them, they're all becoming hard to get, right? And it's going to become a lot harder as time goes on. So the miners will be a better way to go, right? So we'll be able to continue, earning on this silver ramp up and gold ramp up and so forth. Eventually, gold will hit 20,000, and I think silver well into the 2,000, maybe 2,500. Several years out from now. So, what's your long-term investment looking like? If you're in the silver and gold, you're going to do really well. Now, I think towards the end of this year, we're going to see probably some really good housing prices. All right. So it probably will be a good time to start to filter into buying homes as investments and as a place to live, of course. And that's kind of that's what I'm looking at right now. So taking some of these, because I think that silver has a good chance to go to 500 by the end of the year. $500 an ounce. That's right. It's not even $100 an ounce, but 500 by the end of the year. 250, absolutely mid-year. All right. So just keep your eyes on these numbers. So for some of you, you're already cashing in. Too bad, right? So you think it's going to be pulling back because there's a lot of fear pouring out there that because that started by the banks. The banks want this thing to pull back, so they've been trying everything they can to scare everybody and say it's going to be like 1980 and 2011. It's going to it's going to pop and then it's going to pull back aggressively. No. This time is much different. We've heard that a lot of times. This time is different, but it really is for silver and the precious metals guys. So, and it is going to destroy the Fed banking cartel system, right? And we should all be very excited about that. Now, tomorrow will be the producer price index. We'll see what comes out of that. And then we have the FOMC, the Federal Monetary, policy decision announcement at the end of the month, 28th. I think they're going to cut. That's what President Trump is almost demanding. All right. So I don't think the Federal Reserve better play around because Donald Trump is pushing hard for them to lower these rates because that's going to help not only Americans, but also America because the U.S. government, United States government, not the corporation, of course, but the U.S. government. All right. And that in turn, helps all Americans. Why is that? So if they lower rates, then this ridiculous thing where the Federal Reserve lends money to the United States. Okay. They're not federal. We know that. All right. By now. And that's very obvious because Donald Trump is basically saying that I'm going to sue you. All right. Donald Trump has expressed intentions to sue Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell citing incompetence and dissatisfaction with the Fed's interest rate policies. This legal action is part of a broader conflict between Trump and the Federal Reserve regarding its independence and decision-making. So its independence, excuse me, it's not part of the Federal Reserve if you're saying it's independent. Hello, you can't have it both ways. So it's a criminal cartel banking system that has wormed its way in, with politicians and corporate interests and the British Empire and all these different things, and it is controlling America. It's charging the interest rate, because they jacked up because they wanted to. They jacked up the interest rates, right? Because they manipulate, all these prices and so forth, just like I described in the beginning, where they were like, jacking up the oil prices, destroying suspectly. You can't say, well, some people are going to go, show me the evidence that they came in and were killing all these chickens themselves. They hire people to do this stuff. Right? They hire assassins. All right. And I've almost been taken out by them, but I know a lot of people that have been taken out by these assassins, guys. So you have to be very nimble, and you have to be very on your toes and know what's going on, and possibly and probably because you're helping humanity, you have the help of divine sources. All right. So we are definitely seeing a collapse of this demonic system. So the CPI today, I think it's bullshit. It said increased 0.3% on a seasonally adjusted basis in December. So I don't know who's in charge. I don't know who's manipulating these numbers. I think it's a manipulation. I think they're down because I just went to Nevada, and I live in Nevada. I remember when I was living in California, I would go to Nevada to get gas because it was so much cheaper. $1 or $2 a gallon cheaper, guys, in Nevada. So compared to California, wow, it sucks to be California. All right. So on many different levels. At some point, I will go into deeper detail about how California is basically, destroying their population and so forth, and they're making it virtually impossible. I have a video where I'm going to show at the end where the Embarcadero down in San Francisco was one of the most exquisite places to go eat seafood. Almost all the restaurants down there are closed. Restaurants that have been down there for 50 years have magnificent views of the Bay Bridge and all that kind of stuff. The water, gone, right? And whole building areas down in San Francisco, malls closed, everything. So, and what does this? It's the political system. The political system is trying to destroy California, right? So, and so that they can have it all. And so they can drive people out of California, and, it's homeless everywhere. Homeless in like Beverly Hills, like people shitting in the streets in Beverly Hills, the most exclusive place probably in the world now. Not so much, right? So Rodeo Drive, where, the Hollywood greats and, people from all over the world used to come. People from all over the world are staying away from San Francisco now, guys, right? So, and LA and all those areas. So California's being destroyed, right? And a lot of places being destroyed. Minneapolis being destroyed. So Trump puts tariff on Iran's trading partners amid wave of protest. Trump says that if and you go back to 2013 and when the Federal Reserve was, started, all that kind of stuff, you're going to see that tariffs before them were like very, very, popular. There were no taxes. All right. And the country ran off of tariffs, and then they came in and started the bullshit so that, they could, send money all around the world and make the whole world rich off of America. This has been going on for a long time, and we're starting to figure it out. So President Trump has been a long-term supporter of tariffs, even before he came in office. I read on President Trump, or Donald Trump before he's President Trump, for a long time. I read all his books and done some of his courses and so forth. So it is very interesting to see, the manipulations that have been ongoing for a long time. He is breaking the back of all that. And he says, if the Supreme Court overturns his tariffs, we're screwed. So I don't think they're going to. I would be very surprised if they do. If they do, it's like, what the hell? All right. It's like, do away with the Fed, do away with the Supreme Court. Jeez. Because they're definitely not for America if they do that. So there's lots of oyster po' boy dressed with hot sauce, organic ketchup. Yeah, David, you've been down there, right? Oof. Yeah, they had some I'm sure there's still restaurants are open down there. But yeah, it's very sad that the corrupt politicians in San Francisco and California are destroying California every chance they get. And a lot of it's just absolutely stupid beyond belief too, and they're put in those positions because they're stupid and manipulable, right? And that's got to change. It's got to be off of merit, not off of like I was talking about with the good old boy network with the generals coming in and running the show in the Department of Defense and so forth. So let's look at this. All right, so FAFO, you knuckleheads out there. So here's a patriot. He's got the flag. He's supporting ICE, and then you have all the ICE Karens and soy boys. Look at what happens when they take this guy on. Boom. Boom, boom. It's like Rocky. Da 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 da. All right, look at this. Look at this guy. He's like, I'm gonna fix this bullshit. Let me at this guy. Let me at this guy. Boom! Lights out, bitch.
Hey guys.
All right, lights out, another bitch. So this is what comes of these clowns, because they don't understand that Americans aren't putting up with their bullshit anymore, right? You want a sleepy time, that's right. So you want to step up and he's already shown that he's like a badass fighter. He's like taking on the whole crowd, That would be me, all right? You would see people flying away unconscious if I was out there, right? And they wanted to come find out, right? So I would be knocking their asses out so fast, and they'd be like that one guy I read, we'll take this old guy on. What has he got? Boom, gone, right? Sleepy, night. All right, so that's what we're seeing with these clowns, right? Now, the ICE agents, unfortunately, can't do that because they're being videoed and so forth. But American citizen right there, he's being attacked. He's defending himself, right? Mike gets attacked, he defends himself, right? So and if you're trying to do more than attack me, you're gonna die, all right? Because I will kill you if you come at me with the intention of doing real bodily harm. All right, so that's some of the things that we're seeing. People aren't playing around anymore. They're disgusted with this attempt to do another George Floyd, and Minneapolis really suffered, all of Minnesota and a lot of the, that area, they suffer very, very harshly with their extremists. So I believe that a lot of these people that are coming into Minneapolis and some of these other places, they don't even live there, right? They're paid agitators. Some of these people have been seen at up to 100 different protests that the Democrats, push. Democrat fundraising basically pays for a lot of this. I think one of the Fox News contributors, what's that blonde lady that wears a cross? Really nice lady. But anyway, she was out there and she was asking one of them, you know, do you have a job? And she's like, and the one woman was like, I'm getting paid. Like she's all like, I'm out here getting paid. And then, and so, not McCallum, but who is her? Laura. That's right, Laura. So, Laura, what's her last name? So Laura, yeah, she was out there, and she was basically exposed it. And when she did, she was like, like they gave it to us. They gave it to us. Ingram, yes, Laura Ingram, thank you. Brew 5640. Brew 5640. I'll drink to that. Cheers. Right. So there's what I'm drinking. IPA. Right. So it is something that we're going to see more of. The Democrat Party basically collapsing. I've been saying this for years. They're going to collapse, and sure enough, they're doing it. Right. People are onto their bullshit. Now Donald Trump has basically announced termination of protected status for Somalis. So that's another thing that's basically going to break the back. And I think it's going to be a lot of these countries that get, protected status. So the Trump administration announced Tuesday it will end temporary protected status for Somalis in March 17th, effectively forcing as many as 2,400 people out of the U.S. Just a drop in the bucket. We have hundreds of thousands of these clowns in our country. I don't know how we're going to get them the hell out of here. Temporary means temporary. Noam wrote in a statement to ABC News, country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the law's requirement for temporary protected status. Further, allowing Somali nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is contrary to our national interest. Absolutely. We are putting Americans first. Now, you guys are going to like this one, and I'll talk you through this video. Now, this video, I feel for these guys. I remember when I was working in a casino, after, CIA and Navy SEAL times, I brought in some techniques that were control techniques that I learned in the military. And of course, I taught the Navy SEALs first hand program. I can teach somebody how to control somebody by their pinky, and arm bars and, knee on the neck. All right. So that's not acceptable anymore because of the lie that was created through the George Floyd lie death. Right. So, that was one of the ways. I mean, I would take people down. I showed all my officers how to take people down, how to control them, how to cuff them, and I did it myself quite a lot. All right, so as long as you're on the right, you have to give people warning. You have to give them 3 warnings, like they're going to do with this guy in this car. So this Guatemalan that's in this car. He's at a Speedy gas station. And so watch how many ICE agents have to come in just for this one guy. You're going to see upwards of 20 to 25 ICE agents that have to come in for this one guy, right? So after this, I'm going to show you ICE arrest, dozens and dozens of ICE arrest, pedophiles, murderers. These clowns in Minneapolis let these idiots back out on the street because it's, I don't know, what do they call it? Protected, a free zone for criminals. That if you're a legal alien, it's insane. It's insane what they're doing. Imagine if I was in France and I went to France and, I raped and killed, and they're like, oh, he's illegal and he's not supposed to be here, but we have, he's going to vote for us. So we're going to let him do whatever he's going to do. So it's insane. It's insane what's going on and everybody's on it, starting to get on, be aware of this. All right. And so watch just this one. All right. It's insane. And I feel for these guys. Like I said, because, I've had to, because I've been in a crowd where everybody was filming me and several of my, I was the security at several of my security forces. It was me. I'm like, around 200 pounds. And I had a guy that was almost 300 pounds. And then had a little skinny guy. He was probably about 150, 160 pounds. But all three of us were on this one guy. And he was hopped up on drugs big time. All right. And he was resisting all three of us. Now, there's nerves in your body. And normally, if you take your finger and go to where your earlobe is, the end of your earlobe, press inwards and feel, that doesn't feel good, does it? Imagine all of my weight with my elbow in that spot, pressing down. And then the guy's like, okay. Now, normally I would do just a fraction of that and I would get complete compliance. Now we're all three on top of this clown while everybody's like videoing us and, so that's what happens with these guys. Now, if I was in the military and we're taking somebody down, I would have knocked them out. Right. And that would have been it. We cut them up or tied them up and then throw them in the back of the van and off we go. Right. So this is the way we normally do it in the military when you're going after, targets. Here, it's probably former military guys, but they have to abide by certain things. Like when I was the manager, they started to press on me to let up. And I was like, guys, and the former CEO that was in charge of the casinos while I was in here in Lake Tahoe, they relieved him. And he was a really good guy. He used to say, I don't know how we got you, Mike, but I am so glad you're here. And I was like, yes, you are. So you should be. And so he had my back. And then when they fired him, they started to press on me. And eventually I was like, I got to get out of here. They're going to end up firing me, So, and it just happened to be, I knew that COVID was coming in. And so I retired and then started on my business of doing these shows and, my Intuitive Warrior courses and now with LifeWave and all that stuff. But back then, it was tough to walk away from that. Now, these guys, as you're going to see, I'm going to commend them because they do a really good job. They're very calm. They're very cool with all the crazy Karens and little soy boys that come up and scream at them. Now, one thing you need to understand, if you're touched by someone when you're basically in this capacity and they touch you or spit on you or throw something at you, that's an assault and they could be arrested. Right. So a lot of people don't understand that. It's like, I just spit on them. Yeah, that's assault with possible. If you're sick, if you have a disease, if you have COVID, back in the COVID days, people thought you might die from that. Right. So if you're spitting on someone, that's assault with intent possibly to kill. So, these Karens and soy boys and all that stuff are like, they don't see the problem with this one woman trying to run somebody over. It's like, well, she didn't run him over. So why did he have to shoot her? Like, what? This is like stupidity that's going on here. So watch this takedown. This is excellent. And you're going to see what these guys are up against. Now, 4 guys to take down one person. Wow. I wish I had that right back in the day. It was me, and if I was lucky, someone else. Sometimes it was just me, taking down some really bad people. And sometimes most of the time I'd show up and everybody would look at me and go, okay, I'm out. Right. So, but some of them are all hopped up. And so they had to get, trussed up and then turned over to the sheriff. And then some of them would like resist and I'd go to trial with them and then they get fined. I'd always win. I never lost, ever. All right. So I made sure I did the right thing like these guys do. So let me share this. I guess it popped off because I'm talking too much. So let's watch.
We're trying to get status. Got Honduran here. We're trying to get status.
All right. So listen, he's going to tell them to get out of the car. And if he doesn't get out of the car, he's going to break the window. And he repeats it, and then he does it. And that's the way that works.
2, I'm break it. Open the door. Open it. Last warning.
Now this guy resists, and who knows what he's wanted for, right? It could be a host of things. Like I'm going to read off to you. Some of these people have like a long list, and it's basically sanctuary city. They just let him go, and then he does another crime. They let him go. They do another crime, and these are horrific crimes. When I read them off to you, you're going to be like, "What in the hell?" So this is going to make you regret that there ever was a Democrat Party ever in existence here in the United States, right? I've been saying this for years that they're going to go away. They did the Civil War. They did the KKK. They voted against women's voting rights and black men's voting rights. And, once the black men got voting rights, they're like, well, you guys got to go Democrat or we're going to like hang you from trees. So black man was like, okay, I guess I'm going to go Democrat. And they've been stuck there for a while now. So unfortunately, this is what we see with the Democrats, guys. So we're seeing massive fraud. They don't care about these people. They want to inflame them so that they do stupid. And then they get it videoed and then they spin it. And like Ilhan Omar and Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, and Soy Boy Fry, all these people, inflame this stuff so that this happens. Now we're going to have 20 guys, cover these guys while they arrest this criminal, this Honduran criminal. Who knows what he's? I hope they release, what he was wanted for. So they tracked him down, and he resisted. And as you're going to see, he resisted quite a bit. So you hear the Karens and the soy boys. They're blowing their whistles, and this is supposed to alert all the other illegal immigrants that are around there that are criminals that ICE is around. And then they blow their horns, and then they try and intervene with their vehicles and their bodies sometimes to stop the ICE agents from performing their duties. So look at all these guys piling in here to get this one clown. There's two guys on the other side trying to pull him through, guys on top of him trying to push him out. He's resisting pretty good. He's curled in there like a snake. Now you're seeing here the ICE agents are videoing their arrest so that they can cover themselves that they're doing everything correctly, right? And this is what it's come to. And then you see all these people around here trying to get in there and get their pictures so they can inflame everybody that look at the ICE agents. They're like this poor person, this poor immigrant. So it's very sad, what's going on. And I think people are waking up and they're pushing back. And it's like that one guy that was fighting. It's F around and find out. These clowns are finding out now, guys. So I don't know, tase him or somebody get in there and hit one of those nerve bundles, but they're not doing that because they got all these people watching, and so they probably have like, okay, guys, we got to do it like this. So they're being gentle, all right, to pull this ass clown out of his car, and look how many it's taking. And like I said, all the ICE agents have to come in and start to like push people back so that they can, do their job. So imagine if anywhere else in the United States, everybody be like, yay, take away that friggin' criminal asshole. All right. And thank you, sirs. And so, yeah, we'll cover you. There's no one's going to come and mess with you. But so you have 20, 25, you have 4 here. You're going to have 5 more of these guys out, or 5 other groups, pulling in these criminals at the same time, but they have to cover. That's why you're having, another 1,000 that are having to come to Somalia, Minneapolis. All right. So it's really getting insane, what we're having to go through. It's very frustrating. All right, so let's go back and watch this. I'll try not to interrupt anymore because I get excited.
Tough guy. People is good. Back up. Hey, back here. 21. Back up. Back up.
So it looks like we got the supervisor in there. He's basically taking charge. That's awesome.
Give him your hand. Give him your hand. Now. Give him your hand. Give him your hand. We're not going anywhere.
So the level this guy's fighting, he's probably jacked on something. All right. Like I said, I used to go against, that's not a big guy. Normally I would handle by myself someone like that. And a lot of these guys could probably do the same. But if they're jacked on something, it's very difficult. Right. You need a lot of people on somebody that's jacked. Right. So I think that's what we're seeing here. He's a small punk ass to me, and to these guys, but they're trying to do the right thing, and so they're look at the struggle that just is going on with this one jackass. Imagine, as you're going to see, some of these other soy boy, gets brave and wants to be like a hero, and he finds out. Now look at this guy right here. He is super cool, right? And that's the way you want to be in an environment like this. So possibly combat vet, possibly, has worked for a police department for a long time, whatever, all right? So nice and calm. Everyone that's on the periphery, nice and calm. If it's going to get down, get dirty, they'll turn it on.
Okay. Stay there. Back up. Back up. We're trying to back it up. Don't you understand?
So imagine these guys. Some of these idiots could try and use their car. Like the other moron did that found out. All right. So they have to be aware of that. Now they have paintball guns basically to pepper people, and they got pepper spray and probably some gas and stuff like that. But they got a sidearm, and if that needs to come out, they know how to bring it out. I promise you. So listen to soy boys taunting them. Take your mask off. Now a lot of these soy boys will be wearing their masks too, that's okay. But if these guys don't have their mask on, they'll basically put them on the internet, which the guy mask on, they're going to put them on the internet, right? And, you know, and expose them. So that's what's fucked up about these people. Now, see how long it took them to get that one guy, you know, out of his vehicle, controlled, cuffed, and then in this vehicle. So he's resisting, just going in this vehicle as well. Now, watch the next one. I see that guy's face. He looked pretty exhausted, right? So finally.
You're going inside?
Keeps flying off. I don't know why. But yeah, we're gonna see another one now. Soy boy wants to get brave.
Everybody step back! Get back! Get back! Stay back! Stay back! What did he do to you? Stay back! What did he do to you? Stay back! Do not put your...
So see the guys down here. They're down there taking the pictures. All they're gonna put out there was like innocent civilians taken down by ICE, and they're just gonna play that bullshit lie game.
I'm not resisting! I'm not resisting! I'm not resisting! Hey, I'm not resisting! I'm not resisting! Nobody didn't do anything. I'm not resisting! Nobody did! I'm not resisting! Cowards are here! Back up. I'm not resisting! He's not doing shit! Leave him alone! Put your arm behind your back! Hey, my girlfriend's right behind you! Give us a phone number! My girlfriend's right behind me!
My girlfriend's right behind me. All right. She's not gonna do anything for you unless she's gonna like try and get brave too, and she'll go with you to the prison. So not gonna help you out there, soul boy.
I'm going to victory 3. That's what they said. Victory 3. Give him a good pat down. Once you get him up, give him a good pat down.
All right. So this butt clown is not gonna cooperate. So he's not gonna walk. So we're gonna have to pick him up and carry him.
Back up, you guys. That's a fucking bitches.
Hey, Max.
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't let me fucking carry you guys. You guys get up.
All right, so that's the clown world. The Democrat Party, right? They're pushing that narrative. It's not fun for those guys arresting real criminals. All right, so let's go into the criminals that they are arresting, and then you're going to be pretty friggin' pissed. All right, this is that looks like clown world, but this is a real deal. All right, these guys are arresting very bad people. All right, very bad people. All right, so let's look at the list. ICE arrests dozens of criminal illegal aliens convicted of murder. Give me some more of that. Child rape and more in sanctuary state, Minnesota. While ICE fights to remove the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens in Minnesota, including child rapists, murderers, and more, violent rioters, like you just saw, and agitators are actively trying to protect these vicious criminals by interfering and obstructing ICE operations. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are encouraging this behavior with their rhetoric of lawlessness, while their sanctuary policies continue to ensure that the worst of the worst criminal illegal alien offenders flock to their state in a vain attempt to escape justice. All right, so they're also using this because all of them are going to be found to have been benefiting from all of this fraud, probably to the tune of multiple millions of dollars, all of them. And so they're pushing as hard as they can. Some of these criminal aliens have had final orders of removal for 30 years, but they've been free to terrorize Minnesotans. ICE's arrest prevent recidivism, so repeat offenders, and make communities safer, but it feels like local politicians want to ignore that part and drum up discontent rather than protect their own constituents. All right, so let's go through a few of them. Here you have Hernan Valencia, criminal illegal alien from Mexico, with a final order of removal dated December 1st, 2016. So he's been here for almost 10 years, convicted of sexual assault against a child, sexual assault, a carnal abuse, and 4 DUIs. All right, so here's a criminal alien from Laos with a final order of removal back in 2018. He's been convicted of strong-arm sodomy of a boy, strong-arm sodomy of a girl, another aggravated sex offense, 9 counts of larceny, unauthorized use of a vehicle, 4 counts of fraud, vehicle theft, 2 counts of drug possession, obstructing justice, possession of stolen property, receiving stolen property, burglary, and check forgery. He also has pending charges for 2 counts of receiving stolen property, flight to prosecution or confinement, and burglary. All right, I'm going to read the rest of them. All right, so I don't know why I keep getting kicked off. I don't know if I need to change my internet or what's going on here. But I'll pull it back so you guys can see these criminals. Jiang, a criminal illegal alien from Laos with a final order removal back in 2012. So he's been here a long time, supposed to have been removed all the way back then. So, 14 years, pretty much, he's been here almost, and he should have been gone. He's been convicted of strong-arm rape, strong-arm aggravated assault against a family member, aggravated assault with a weapon, and additional sex offense and domestic violence involving strangulation. All right, so on and on. 2 counts of attempting to commit strong-arm rape, another Laotian, and so a lot of Laotians here. Another Laotian, sodomy of a girl under the age of 13, and procuring a child for prostitution. Criminal illegal alien from Laos with a final order removal back in 2004. So 21 years here legally committing crimes, and he's been protected. He's been convicted of strong-arm rape of a 12-year-old girl, kidnapping a child with intent to sexually assault her, and vehicle theft, right? And who knows how much, guys, that we don't know about. So if they've done that, they've probably done a heck of a lot more. So Laotian after Laotian, burglary, larceny, disorderly conduct. Here's a Somalian who's been convicted of homicide, and he's still running free. They got him. So guy from Sudan, another guy from Somalia. So the list goes on and on. I mean, there's multiple, and it's not just men. Of course, we have Shui Huto, criminal illegal from Burma. So we got it from all over the world, all the criminals from all over the world here, who's been convicted of negligent homicide with a weapon. So another criminal alien from Sierra Leone with a final order of removal back in July 2022. She's been convicted of 2 counts of homicide. So she's killed 2 people, and 4 that we know of, 4 DUIs, 3 counts of larceny and burglary. So on and on and on. This is what ICE is taking off the streets, and these loony, moronic Karens and soy boys are activated by the Democrat Party to go out and stop the arrest of incredible bad criminals within our communities, committing crime after crime and being let loose over and over and over and over again, guys. Right? So very sad, very sad. All right, so ICE is going in and basically hammering. This video shows chaos after ICE involved shooting. ICE raids 23 Minnesota daycares, fraud hubs emptied as Trump goes nuclear. All right, so Trump is like, get him the hell out of here. All right, get him the hell out of here. All right, go Trump.
Thousands of Minnesota borrowers who may have taken out fraudulent loans during the COVID-19 pandemic.
So the fraud situation in Minnesota, it keeps growing every single day. And although 7,000 people were just caught stealing money via 2020 loans, we're also learning about a shady network of home care facilities that may have been created specifically to allow fraudsters even more access to Uncle Sam's piggy bank. And as you're about to see, these sites, they're not just located in Minnesota. No, they're everywhere.
All right, this is the way we do it. When they come in and, try and shut us down, we just, squirm out of it. All right, here we go.
Here in Minnesota, blatant fraud is taking place. Right here, you see a daycare center. It says it's Creative Minds Daycare. Creative Minds Daycare was actually shut down and was reopened the next day underneath the name Super Kids. This daycare alone has received $2.45 million.
This may look like your typical single-family home, but it bills itself as an assisted living facility. It's owned by a man indicted for laundering $1 million. His wife runs the assisted living facilities, and the state is continuing to pay as he awaits his trial.
In total, these borrowers were approved for 7,900 PPP and EIDL loans worth approximately $400 million.
We're taking fraud seriously. We're working every day to improve our systems. That's why it's incredibly frustrating to me that Donald Trump and Republicans want to use this as a political vehicle to cut funding entirely to our state.
These assisted living facilities received over $2.3 million in state money last year alone.
So on and on and on, you see the Democrats come in and say, we're doing the right thing. And Donald Trump and his administration is trying to come in and politicize it, trying to take credit for the work that we're doing. Yeah. People are figuring it out, guys. All right. You guys are figuring it out. Now, meanwhile, in that area, Ford workers cheer Trump during tour of F-150 plant in Michigan. Of course, they're making F-450s, which are highly popular. And now they boosted to 3 shifts of 8 hours each. So they're 24 hours. They're building cars at this plant. And before Trump, they were doing, if they're lucky, 3 hours a day, right? So 6 days a week. They take, I guess, Sunday off. Good for them. And so 6 days a week, they have 3 shifts every day, working 24 hours a day, building these cars because the demand is so high. Wow. It's like America's coming back, right? And this is in Michigan, where we have, as I'm going to show you, a lot of Arabs, right, that are taking advantage. All right, so right here, they talk about the special F-450 truck with an American flag. They showed President Trump. Listen to this one.
Just expanded the plant and went to 24 hours and 24-hour shifts. And Jim Farley, everybody knows Jim is a legend in the industry. But they're just saying their business is better than ever. They're doing 24 hours now, 60 round the clock, and they do expansions, and they're building more plants in the United States because of tariffs. And Jim said, and Bill very strongly confirmed, they've never seen anything like it. In all of the years that they've been in business, they've never seen what's happening now like it. So it's a great honor. But so this plant, you might talk about it. This plant goes 24 hours around the clock. Before, it used to go 3 hours around the clock.
No, it will. So we're adding a third shift, and it's going to be running, as the president said, 24 hours, 6 days a week. And that just shows the demand there is for this product, which we is the best-selling product, as you all know, in America, and it just gets hotter and hotter. So we have a great relationship with the president and his whole staff. They've been great to work with for us. He personally is incredibly responsive every time we need something or call. We very much appreciate it, and you know, we couldn't be more excited. We're adding market share. We're growing as a company. We're adding jobs, not just here but elsewhere. Yeah, this is.
And they're bringing plants back from Mexico, guys. So Trump is making it profitable, and you want to come here because otherwise your vehicles are going to be heavily tariffed. So they're coming here and they're saving a lot of money and they're giving Americans jobs again. All right. So those plants, you know, in Michigan are humming along. They're coming back and they're building new plants again, or refurbishing the old plants. So this is a great thing for America, and we're basically turning all this around. Now, in Dearborn, Michigan has the highest, is the only place in the United States that has a mostly Arab group. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I've been to the Middle East. I've been around Arabs for my life. Arabs are cool. They're good people, just like anywhere else, when they don't have stupid running the show, right? When there's good people running the show, like we're going to see soon in Iran, then things work really well, right? Arabs are just like everybody else, just like Jews, just like you name it. You know, we're all people, you know, and when given good opportunities, and when the criminals are basically found out and removed, then everything works exceptionally well. So just because there's a lot of Arabs in Dearborn, Michigan, doesn't mean anything to me. What does mean something to me is if they're doing the mosque bullshit, right? So not a fan of those five times a day call to prayer bullshit. All right. So that, I guess, in Oklahoma, basically the community, along with the district attorney of Oklahoma, basically shut down the possibility of one of those mosques being built in one of their communities. So not cool. You want to, you know, build a mosque and, you know, have people come to prayer. That's great. But don't blast it out to everybody else. All right. You're taking over. And that's what Muslims do a lot of times. They come in and basically they take over and push everybody out. So if you want to be part of America, that's cool. If not, then go back home. And if you don't want to leave and you still want to do stupid, you're going to find out. We're going to take you and send you back home. All right. Or wherever that might be. All right. And your home may be a prison cell. So it's up to these people to decide. Now, some people are going to resist. Some people are going to resist here. Now, this is in Somalia. Someone on Mogadishu. It's in Mogadishu, Somalia. Oh, I'm sorry. It's in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. But I've said that we're probably going to see Mogadishu here in America, guys. So this is an ICE vehicle that's being attacked by a mob in St. Cloud, Minneapolis. Or Minnesota. Sorry, Minnesota. So Mogadishu, St. Cloud. All right. Somali population in Michigan by city, the rankings, Lansing, you have 0.442%, Grand Rapids, 0.22%, East Lansing, 0.25%, Detroit, less, almost like 0.01%, and then Kentwood, and then of course there's many other cities. So there's a lot of Somalis out there that could possibly do Mogadishu in our cities. All right. Not cool, because as you see, most of these people are criminals, and they have a criminal mindset, and they're going to take advantage, and they're going to do criminality in our cities. They're not going to go to that plant. I looked, I was like, are there any Muslims there in that plant? I didn't see one. All right. That doesn't mean there are not some there. And to get into a lot of these corporations where, they're working hard to earn a living, they're not going to let some slackers in, guys. And the Muslim community, for a month of the year, they take off, they fast, they don't work. That ain't cutting it in most corporations. All right. And as you saw from that one President Trump post, there's massive fraud that's happening where these people are coming in and getting compensated for welfare, money, Medicare, all kinds of crazy stuff, way more than Americans, right? So that means Americans are working to support them on a massive level. That's bullshit, right? So in Iran, let's change tune here. In Iran, there's 12,000 that are feared dead after Iran protest. So I'm kind of surprised that President Trump hasn't already stepped in. Maybe tonight, if it goes it much longer, he's talked how he was going to come in for several days. It's like things are getting pretty bad there. All right. So they can come out with their vehicles with machine guns mounted on the vehicles and start to devastate. And it sounds like they have in some places. 12,000 dead now, as many as 20,000. So it's time to stop talking and let's get down to business and crack down on these Islamists, right? And that'll send a message throughout the rest of the world. So President Trump, you promised that you would help the Iranians. It's time to step up, sir. Right. Today, which is the 14th already now in Iran, they're supposed to hang a man that was been convicted of anti-Khomeini protest. So they're going door to door. They're seizing all of the satellite dishes, Starlink dishes, and they're taking people into custody. And this is what they've done in the past. They're rolling out with machine guns and machine gunning the people like they've done in the past. So it's time to basically step up. And Israel and America have said that they were going to crack down on this regime. They got out of hand. That time is now, right? It is now, right? We'll lose all credibility if this doesn't happen soon. So they put out that they've warned all non-Iranians, that means Europeans and Americans that are still in Iran, to leave immediately, right? And there's multiple reasons for that, not just because there's potential that they're going to come in and start cracking down, start bombing the hell out of these Islamist mofos, but also because once they start that, if you're a foreigner, they may wrap you up and execute you as well, right? Because you're part of a regime that's basically taking them out, and they'll do that in retaliation, right? So if there are people there that are Americans or Europeans, they should be getting out of there very quickly, right? Now, I've heard that international flights have stopped, so it might be a little tricky getting out of there. You maybe have to get in an Uber, and who knows what the Uber rates are there in Iran. They may need to take you to the border and drop you off. And maybe Delta's there waiting. So I don't know, guys. It seems like it's coming to a head. I thought it would have happened by now. If it doesn't happen tonight or by tomorrow, I'm going to be very disappointed in our administration for making promises that they are not keeping. All right. So, this is so funny because all around the world, people are stepping up and they want their borders secure and they want illegal aliens out. So Macron's Macron, his France is failing to protect its citizens again. All right, so you have an Algerian migrant with deportation order arrested for raping a 15-year-old girl. Okay, so we can't point fingers because we have massive problems like that here in America. But we can look around the world and we can see that this is a worldwide problem, right? Especially in Europe and here in the United States and in Canada. And most other countries, they don't put up with this bullshit, right? So this is the deep state basically trying to, take down our countries. So same thing in Australia. I don't know about New Zealand, how severe it is there. But there are some serious failures in law enforcement and the political system, right? So these people that are in charge need to be replaced. Fortunately, here in America, we have replaced them, and they are making some great headway, but it's going to take a little bit more time. So in America,
65 days per year,
we have, the system is working against us. The Democrat system in a lot of these states is basically working to destroy, institutions. I guess in California, there's some of the oil companies are basically shutting down. Now, when they shut down, that affects everybody else because here in Nevada, we pretty much, need California, the oil refineries to supply us with gas. So not only do they screw over their own citizens, which gas prices are going to explode even more, the highest gas prices in the country and maybe even the world. I don't know about maybe Britain has even higher, even though they have their own fuel, they have their own oil sources. But it's very possible that we could see an even higher spike in gas prices. Very, very possible that's coming up. Now watch some of this video. I've had Metal Leo. I've shown some of his videos in the past. I support him. I recommend you help him out because he does this on his own. He's an independent journalist, and he goes to all up and down the West Coast. He even goes to, I think he went down to South America to show how South American countries are doing better than America because he kicked all of their criminals out. And here we are like taking them in. You got criminals, send them to America. That's what the Biden administration did for 4 years, right? So this is one of the things that we are, working to overcome. But 4 years of wide open, all the criminals you got, send them. And then you have, like you've seen in the videos, all these, which I think they should be criminals if they are trying to impede ICE from doing its job. I think they should just be arrested. If they come within vicinity and they're being abusive or they're, honking their horn or blowing whistles and all that bullshit, give them some warnings. If they continue, arrest their ass, right? So every restaurant is closed in Embarcadero, San Francisco. All right. So this is a restaurant, the Waterfront. It's been there for like 50 years. Check this out.
closed. And here's an apology letter. The Waterfront restaurant permanently closed for business. Thank you for visiting. We apologize for the inconvenience. Here's another sign. As good as gone. Here on Broadway and Embarcadero, this is the biggest closure we had so far this year in 2026. The Waterfront restaurant, gone. After 50 years here in San Francisco, offering great food and the best view of the Bay Bridge and Treasure Island, the Waterfront closes its door forever. Sad. Great views, great food, but the problem is there's nobody here. That's the problem. That's the real problem. There's no way they can survive another year with the slow traffic. Insurance premiums are higher, rent is higher, labor cost is higher. Everything's working against them. They had no choice but to go. And crime too, that's another factor. Employee safety is an issue, car break-ins are an issue. everything compounds and render all these restaurants worthless. It's not like they're going to hang tight and try to survive a slow season. It's been years, and they know it's going to be a lot longer. There's no end in sight of how long this is going to last. Just look at this. That in that corner there, all of it is retail available. Over here in this corner, same thing. All of these are meant for shops. Was the main entrance. And look at it, just sitting here, empty. One prime location right in the corner. All that seating area, empty. Nobody there. Man, it's so sad to see all these places empty. And there's the sign for lease. Another one. Now this one is really large. The whole corner. There's the sign for lease. Now this one is and the kitchen back there. The brick oven still there. And it's so sad to see this. But look at the slanted door restaurant. It's so sad to see it all around down. And time is also taking its toll on the building. It looks a lot worse than the last time I was here. Things are falling apart. The arc there, only half of it is there now. The sign is gone. I think it used to be called Savales or something like that. And then it was the slanted door. All the glass ceiling. They must have good lighting in there. Good. Can you imagine having dinner right next to this round window here?
Yeah, so I remember, back in the day, after I left the CIA and they tried to destroy my life and kill me, things were pretty tough. But, occasionally we would go down to the Embarcadero and we'd find the cheapest restaurant and have a nice meal. But it was even back then, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe a little bit more, the homeless in the streets, everything was really bad even back then. So it's not a surprise that, this is basically, collapsed. But this is the Democrat Party, guys. It's a Democrat state. It's a Democrat-run state. They're driving it into the ground everywhere across California. Same thing in Illinois. Same thing in Minnesota. Same thing in New York. Everything's being driven into the ground. It's a travesty. This Democrat Party needs to go away, right? And we're not going to be able to vote them out because they are corrupt in the political arena on a massive scale. So the only way this gets fixed, like President Trump has been saying, he's going to do away with mail-in voting. Of course, if someone's has to do the mail-in voting, but there's a process for that. But all the mail-in voting that Democrats have been doing has to go away. They're going to resist that. And you're going to have to bring in military. They're going to have to do executive order, an emergency proclamation. I don't know when that happens, but it's going to have to happen. And then we'll have fair elections, and we'll get rid of these idiots, right? We'll vote them out, and we'll start to rebuild. We'll quickly rebuild that prime real estate right there. You get law enforcement that starts to do their job, clean up the streets. Take away the people that are homeless, that are they're kept homeless. They've had billions and billions. I think $24 billion have disappeared in California that was supposed to be for homeless. The fraud is over the top, right? So if you actually use that money and there's a lot of very talented, very creative people that have good answers for the homelessness and the drug abuse and so forth, it can be fixed. It can be fixed, right? Once we get these criminals out of the way, put them behind bars or give them a nice, necktie to wear for a little while and then put them in the ground, that's when we're going to start to see this basically get fixed, guys, and not until. All right. And it's moving very quickly in the right direction. All politicians are corrupt except a very few highly agree, right? All of them, right? Unless they prove otherwise, and there's not many proving otherwise, right? All right, guys, lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. This is the way we win. Our creativity, our connection to God's source, and sending love to these criminals that are running our states and cities and counties and so forth. Send them love, because demons don't like love. They don't like that frequency, and it makes them weak, and then they get vulnerable, and then they go bye-bye. Right? So learn to do it. Learn to send the love. This is how we win. This is how I won throughout combat. This is how I take down a lot of these criminal politicians, guys. They're taking a lot of these guys out. But if more of you guys get involved, it can happen a lot faster, right? Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.